Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, July 27th, 2018. I am today's host, Dr. Pamela Gay, and I am here today I think we're actually going to take a look into what it's like to be an astronomer. Now, the reason that we're doing this is because I had one of those mornings where everything kept going sideways. And I constantly get asked, what's it like to be an astronomer? And what we generally talk about is I spend most of my time programming a computer. I spend most of my time processing data off of a telescope. And the parts of our life that don't necessarily get talked about are the parts that make all the science possible. So for me, the things that often end up taking up my time and that took me on an interesting sidetrack this morning is the process of how we keep doing our science. There's always someone up the food chain who's asking, tell me this, tell me that. And this is a lot like the kinds of reports that you probably get at work. Now, the interesting part is that we don't always get to say when things are due, when we're going to be available. So here I am, dressed in a t-shirt, getting ready to take off on a attempted escape for 48 hours. And I'm going to admit, I was up till 2 a.m. last night writing code to try and answer funders' questions, and I was up this morning trying to answer, further questions. And a lot of people complain about how there isn't sufficient oversight on science, how there aren't people out there making sure that every tax dollar is well spent. And this is so totally not the case, because I think that it's accurate to say any given budget probably spends a portion I probably shouldn't talk about online on auditing the budgets, making sure every single dollar is well spent, on auditing the humans, making sure every person is doing what they say. And all of us have to be there all the time to answer the questions from the people, whether they be in Congress, NASA, universities, institutions, boards of directors, wherever the questions may be coming from. We need to be there to answer them. And as you look at the changing budgets, as you look at our changing Congress, as you may feel that temptation to say, hey, why do these scientists need this much money? The reason we need it is for that oversight. So next time you hear anyone saying, hey, these scientists, they just get given millions of dollars and then they go off and do whatever they want, I want you to think of me being up till 2 a.m. providing statistics and reassurances that things were going right. This wasn't the first time I've had something like this happen. At one point, my husband and I, thinking we could escape, went on a transatlantic cruise, and while I was gone for 10 days, we got a congressional data request, which meant we had to turn in data. And one of our contacts for the grant I had at the time, it was different funding, it was several years ago, one of the people in charge of the bureaucracy actually managed to hunt me down in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and tell me I needed to pay for internet and get them the data they needed. So that was a long-winded sidetrack on how it is that we get to the science we have, not just from the perspective of, Fraser's streaming at the same time, I'm being told. Let's go ahead and do science, but also from the side of let's go ahead and make sure everything is audited and correct. Now, Guido, I see you saying in the chat that Fraser is simulcasting. I know he's casting the lunar eclipse that's currently taking place and visible from South Africa. Is he doing that on Twitch or YouTube or something that I can kick our audience over to? Because being able to get a live telescope view certainly is superior to almost anything I could do. So if I can get information on that, I'd greatly appreciate it. So I am going to go ahead and give you a rundown on the news. Now, what I'm finding out is Fraser is actually streaming over on YouTube. So I'm just going to do a quick run through on things that you may want to know about. So from JAXA, we hear that Bepo Colombo is continued on its mission, getting ready for launch. We are looking to launch from French Guyana, October 19th. So that mission is continuing happily along its way. Then we also have the IAU General Assembly in Vienna, where I will be this summer, is already starting to put out its schedule of public astronomy events. We will be hosting all of those via our Twitch channel whenever we can. And I will be bringing you a full schedule as they come. But if you want to tune in now, go to iau.org and look under their news and find out everything there is to know about how you too can be part of, well, this meeting that sometimes demotes planets. Now, beyond that, we have continued work on trying to understand the nature of black holes, which I'm going to leave for Andreas to do sometimes next week, because he is that's more his area of research than mine. And beyond that, we continue to get improved information on just what is the structure of a star. This sounds like something very odd for us to still be learning. But the truth is that we know the surface of stars. We see the surface of stars. We measure the surfaces of stars. We can sometimes get at the radii. We can sometimes get at their mass and when they're in binary systems. But beyond that, we are relying on trying to build complex models to understand their insides, and we're working to build in all the possible observational constraints by observing every possible different kind of star to see, if I tweak this variable, can I get something that's out there and exists? And what astronomers are finding is that there appear to be more and more kinds of gaps in the kinds of stars that are possible. And these kinds of gaps may be due to the different ways that energy is moved through stars. So it looks like there is a gap where basically stars 1/3 the mass of the sun just don't behave quite the way we were expected. Now, I have to admit, reviewing this in real time because I was answering data calls this morning. But these gaps that we're starting to find in our color magnitude diagrams, our diagrams that explain to us the luminosity of given stars and the temperature of the given stars, these are the observables we have to match with our models. With the Gaia mission and its tenfold increase in the number of stars that we're able to accurately measure, it's uncovering these gaps in what stars are able to be that had never before been noticed. Now, that's all that's new and interesting. And I see Hanny's asking, can you do solar seismology on other stars? Not the way we'd like. We have some basic solar seismology information on some of the biggest stars like Betelgeuse, where we can begin to see spots, but not at the level of detail as the sun. So we do get at some of the basics by doing high speed photometry of some BE stars that are high speed oscillators. But that detail of seeing all the different modes that we get for the sun, not yet, but we can get earlier bits. So I'm seeing that many of you are following Fraser. So I'm just going to answer a few more questions and then encourage you, go watch the solar eclipse with Fraser. So Rachel, yes, I have a bachelor's in astrophysics from Michigan State University and a master's and PhD in astronomy from the University of Texas. I'm the director of technology and citizen science for the Astronomical Society of the Pacific. My day job is, here at CosmoQuest, we're a collaboration that invites you to work with us on a variety of different NASA missions to help us map out our solar system and beyond. So, yep, we are a research team. So Hanny is asking, could the gaps in the HR diagram be caused by chemical composition? Have simulations seen this? I don't know. I need to read the paper. I'll work on reading the paper so I can answer that for you. I know, Guido, you have time. You have the next 4 hours. But the thing is, I have to admit, I am ill prepared and now anxious to see if I have more emails I need to respond to. We do have Matt out there. He is gearing up to do Astro 101. He should be starting at about 1:30. He may come on sooner if he has the chance. Do we have any more questions out there? So Phoenix is saying, how can we help spread the word outside of our normal channels to increase visibility? Well, there's a lot of simple things you can do. Our podcasts, go leave reviews on iTunes. If you have a computer and you have a Twitch channel, set your Twitch channel to auto-host us. And if you don't have an audience, I'm not sure how that will help, but if you have an audience, oh my God, that helps. So leave reviews. Share out through your social networks. At the end of the day, also just leaving reviews other places. When people on BuzzFeed are doing the, hey, what are your favorite this, that, and the other things? Tell them about us. Tell your colleagues about us. Sadly, the best thing you can do is abuse the people you love and science at them and tell them you've got to try this thing. You never know who within your network is going to be that person that is able to, well, say, hey, I like this, and fund us to do more and be more. The person who's going to say, hey, this is cool, and share it on Boing Boing, or share it on whatever that next big thing is. So really, the most powerful thing you can do to help us out is to share, to get us in front of as many eyes as possible, and help us build those connections that will let us build our empire of people who put science in your brain. Thank you, Trekker Kev. That's excellent. Brains are for thinking and not for feeding zombies. So use your brains for science. So yes, I think letting the audience go to Fraser's stream is excellent. But can we light up the chat with some rockets before you do that? And thank Trekker Kev for his bits. So for those of you who don't know why I'm forwarding people over to Fraser, today there is a partial lunar eclipse going on that absolutely cannot be seen in North America. Absolutely cannot. But for those of you that are on the other side of the world, especially those of you that are down on the African continent, you have a great view. So why are you here watching me? Go outside and look up. And for those of you who can't go out and look up because, like me, you're in the wrong continent, click over to YouTube. Get a view on what's going on Well, down in South Africa from Corey Schmidt and his telescope. So Tom Van Scooter is saying, I know this is like asking which child or pet is your favorite. Which is better right now, being a patron or subscribing on Twitch? So we have so many different things that fund so many different things that's hard to answer. For helping us out with Astronomy Cast, which is one group of humans, Patreon is the best place to be. For helping us out with CosmoQuest, Twitch is the best place to be. For helping everything in general, I really think Patreon is kind of the best in terms of our ability to communicate to you and support you. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is figuring out how to streamline the Patreon process and make it easier for us to administer Patreon so that we're doing a better job communicating with you. If you're me, what you will do, because I'm a dork who likes emojis, the projects that I love the most, I usually will subscribe just enough to get the emoji so I can light up the chat. So I can do that with my Starstrider account. And then if I really love the person and I want to give more, I'll give it through Patreon. So for instance, I support Surly Amy because I love her art, and and Amanda Palmer because I love her music. Yeah, sorry, that's a weird question. Scott, I'm sorry, Tom. I didn't mean to rename you. Okay, other questions before I rename more people. And I have my chat at an angle that makes it very awkward when I look at it. If I see no more questions, and I'm not seeing any more questions, all CosmoQuest channels will be going dark this weekend. We aren't protesting anything. We're not doing anything of any kind. We actually just kind of all are spontaneously taking a vacation. Big J and I are going along with some of our other team members to join friends out in the wilds of Ohio to play board games all weekend. It's kind of amazing when the people you work with are also your closest friends that you want to go on vacation with. And we're lucky enough to have that case. Annie up at Youngstown State University is also taking a much-deserved weekend off. So we'll see you guys all on Monday. Andreas is, in fact, I think most of our team is gone this weekend, and I hope all of you get to go do something too. So we will be back on Monday with another edition of The Daily Space. As always, we are here to put science in your brains. We invite you to visit us over at CosmoQuest.org, where Daily Space is organized, and get involved in mapping out other worlds, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Vesta, even our own planet Earth. We currently have a particular data call for both Mars and Mercury, so if you've got a few spare moments, can you mark a few craters? CosmoQuest is a collaboration of multiple institutions. I am the Director of Citizen Science and Technology for the Astronomical Society of the Pacific, where I am joined by my colleagues, Dr. Andreas Plazas and Joe Meyer. We also work with Dr. Matt Richardson, who's going to be following me up on this channel and bringing you Astro 101. He works at the Planetary Science Institute. If you're not opening up the Eclipse in another window, in fact, just open it in another window. Watch both things. You can do that. So watch Dr. Matt do Astro 101 on this channel in a few minutes. And then most Sundays, we have Annie Wilson coming to us from Youngstown State University's Ward Beecher Planetarium, where she creates planetarium shows. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. As always, follows are free, and let you know every time our channel goes live. Thanks. Bye-bye.